our moderator, Dave Cadoon from Alberta, David Shapiro from Texas, Jessica Hensley from Kansas, and Michael Garcia from California. How are you all doing today?
Awesome. Wish I was in Florida, though.
How are our mics doing today?
Mike is great.
Awesome. All right, Sanjeev, if you want to go ahead and take it away, the stage is yours. Thank you all. Sanjeev, are you there? Well, why don't we get this started off with Dave Cadoon from Alberta, David Shapiro from Texas, Jessica Hensley from Kansas, and Michael Garcia from California. I want you all to go around and give me, what your 30-second elevator pitch would be to a new client to introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure, well, I'll get started. Hi, my name is Dave Cadoon. I've been a realtor for 8.5 years, located in Lloydminster, Alberta, and consistent ICON producer for the last couple of years. I definitely work to make sure the client is served to the best needs that they have or that they're looking for, and I'm happy to serve them. So looking forward to also speaking with all of you or talking to all of you in the audience here today.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave. What about you, David, Jessica, Michael?
I can go next. I am Jessica Hensley from Independence, Kansas, which is like southeast Kansas, very rural area. I've been licensed since 2003, so this will make 20 years this year. And so what I share with my clients is just our track record of success for our clients, how we help them win based on my experience. And we also work as a team, and not the traditional team. I actually run more of a micro team. So everything has a system, and our clients. Last year, we sold 138 homes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Jessica, your mic cut out there for a second. We're having a couple little audio issues in the world, so if you all would please forgive that. And Jessica, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Okay, did you hear anything I said?
You know what? Why don't you just repeat it all?
Oh, okay. It was really good. Okay.
Thank you.
So I am in Independence, Kansas, and it's a small community in Kansas, about 10,000 people. I've been licensed since 2003, so this will make 20 years in the business. And we help our clients with all of the experience that I have. We help them reach their goals. And something that's unique about us is we work as a team and not a traditional team. I run a micro team. So each person on my team for the client, and I am the agent. All transactions go under my. So we average. Last year we sold 130, between 100. You hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, Michael, if you want to pick this up next.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, great. Michael Garcia, specifically San Francisco Bay Area, California. So that's Northern California. Go Warriors, even though they lost to the Lakers. I run a team of 10 licensed agents. Myself, I'm a licensed broker associate with EXP. And as far as our clients are concerned, we treat them as clients for life. Our goal is to generate 5-star reviews. And in order for us to do that, we want to make sure we wow our clients and essentially do something that they weren't expecting. Clients, buyers, sellers, they expect us to do what we're trained to do as far as real estate agents, but doing something that is above and beyond their expectation is where we can get the 5-star reviews, which will translate ultimately to repeat referral business, and that's what we strive for each client that we work with.
Okay, nice. Hey, Sanjeet, did you get your mic working? Okay, well, we're going to move on with this. All right, if you guys all want to think about what sets you out from other agents, like Gogo was saying in the meeting before this, and I don't know if you caught it, but she was saying how people will forget your name after 2 years. Well, I think people will forget your name if you're just passively interacting with them. What do you guys do, each of you, to stand out? If you think about what the average agent does, being an icon, I do, fill in the blank. What's one thing that sets you apart from other agents that are currently in your market that actually you think got you to the icon status that you're at?
David Shapiro here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll introduce myself too quickly.
Awesome.
I'm in Austin, Texas. I have a team that supports me of an agent and 2 admin support staff. We do about 40 deals a year, which is 20 to 30 million in production, and it's all sphere and referral based. I've never done an open house or taken an internet lead, and I've been in the business about 7 years. Prior to that, I was an investor for about 10 years. And I think that's one of the things that sets me apart is that when I got my license, people were just coming to me asking for help. They're like, hey, I know you invest in real estate. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Or who should I talk to be a realtor for my deals? And at that point, it was like, oh, I can help you with that. And they know that I put my money where my mouth is. I do a deal here in Austin every year. And for the last 7 years, people have been coming to me saying, well, the market's so hot. I mean, it's going to crash at some point, right? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm still buying. So I think, this is a good bet. Austin has a good trajectory that you should buy too. And so I put my money where my mouth is. And then when they ask me, like, how's the market? I'm not just like, oh, it's good. I have hard statistics. I'm like, well, transactions are down 30%. And, and I'm like actually giving them numbers where I think some agents are just like, yeah, everything's good. So I think those are 2 things that leave an impression with clients or potential clients.
Nice. I would have to agree. What about you, Dave?
For me, it's just being noticed. People need to see you, and it's just like the touch points. They have to see you. They have to know where you are. For me, I have my signs everywhere. I have some print advertising that's out there, and said in other ones where I've been in, other ICONversations, that I'm in hockey rinks. And being up here in Canada, we have a lot of hockey throughout the year, so that's where people are gravitating to. So people see me. So when they see something on social media, they see stuff at the rink, they see me sharing my life. They understand who I am and what I'm about. They just have to understand who you are. Introduce them and show them that you're a person. You're a family man. For example, for me, you're not just a salesman. You're not just there to sell them a home. You're there to build a relationship. You want to actually be their friend. People hate being sold, but they love shopping with their friends.
Couldn't agree more. What about you, Jessica?
We stay in touch with our past clients and program that we call our Friends and Family program. So if it was a good transaction and there's somebody that we would want them after the transaction to this list, basically, and we have 200, 300 people that we call like raving fans. My definition of that is somebody that go out of their way to tell somebody else to use me as an agent. I've had some of our people tell their friends, oh, you have to use Jessica so you can join this group, so you can be part of her friends and family group. So what we do in it, we have an email list. We do it 2 different ways. We have an email list on our BombBomb. We send them a giveaway. And my budget's not big. I spend $200-300, but we have something different every month. For so many people to respond, we'll This month, we're giving away summer passes to the pool. Last month, we gave away Mayday baskets. Let them know they wanted us to drop the baskets off in their name. Do something different every month, relevant to the month. And a lot of people ask me, well, do people get mad if they don't win? But really, I mean, it's a free gift, So they're looking for our email. They're excited to hear from us. And it's kind of the thought that counts, I guess. Never win anything, but they hear from us every month. And so we send out an email. We also have a group that we post this in. We try to do 2 or 3 events per year, not a big event. Like in first quarter, we do we have a booth at our farm and home show, and we have a giveaway. We tell of our the actual client event that we do is once a year in the fall. Do photos. So we do fall photos, and we have a photographer we've booked and a venue and a nice backdrop and out, and it's just we're there about 4 or 5 hours, and people come a lot of time. So that's something that everyone really looks for. So just doing those things, stay in touch with our clients. It's our 52 touch plan. Probably don't have time to go into every single thing we do, and that seems like a lot, but really it's not. It's just literally having intention around clients. They would never even dream of.
Nice. How about you, Michael?
Hey, oh. Hello? Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Hey there, Michael.
Okay. Thought someone was talking there. All right.
Yeah.
So as far as our business goes, it's 40% referral repeat business. So we do a majority of our business from sphere of influence, and a big part of that involves staying in touch, obviously, not just with our past clients. We don't call them past clients, we call them lifetime clients. And a few things that we do, we have a system in place that each agent, as soon as they complete the sale within a week, they're going to call them, check in, see how things are going, see if they need anything. The first month, they call them back, do the same thing, check in, see if they need anything. And then every quarter after that, until whenever. Until they die. They're going to call and check in, see how things are going. And on a monthly basis, we send out a monthly newsletter that goes out to them with information about local events, obviously real estate stuff, things that we're doing. And similar to what Jessica does, we do have a raving fan as well. We call it the same thing, raving fans. And in order to be enrolled in a raving fan, you refer someone to us. You are automatically enrolled in that for 6 months. You receive a monthly gift, and you get invited to exclusive events. I'm going to put my Instagram on the chat. You can check that. We had a recent event this past month, or this May, actually, just a few weeks ago. It was we treated our raving fans to a nice Italian restaurant luncheon. So check that out. You can get an idea of what events that you can do. That's certainly one of them. Another one we do is we rent out the entire movie theater, or one movie theater, obviously, for a private screening for our clients, of raving fans and clients that we recently helped in the past year. So they get invited to that. It's all about, as Jessica says, touch points, showing them that they are special, because they are. And you keep doing that, then you could expect business from there on a repeat, on a referral basis. So each client, they should be not just one transaction. You got to keep in mind, a client is probably a minimum of 3 transactions. The first transaction, the referral transaction, and the repeat business transaction, minimum 3. Okay, so that's how you should think about it. Not just a one and done basis. Okay.
Nice. I really like that. So guess what? I think we have Sanjeev back. Sanjeev, do you want to check your mic?
Yes. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me?
Absolutely. You can take it away now, Sanjeev. Sanjeev is our moderator for today. We were having some audio issues. So Sanjeev, if you feel free to go and do this, great.
Guys, and sorry for this tech issue.
It seems Sanjeev is still having some audio issues, so we're going to move right along. So plugging in, personally, I'm always at the Friday leadership meeting each week, whether it's in the auditorium or live on YouTube, because I want to know what's coming up and what I can plug myself into. Starting with a roundtable discussion about this, I want to know what each of you plug into to, help, add to your value each day. If you want to start, Jessica, that'd be great.
Well, kind of thing. I typically just tune into the fast forward, which I know that not everybody has access to, so it's probably not my group, my upline. Whistle and Dan Beer, they have. That's kind of what I plug into, besides just my own. It's really important to have somebody that's where you want to be. I wish this could be more of a discussion. Like we could all ask each other questions. And I also can't see any. Can you hear me, Brian?
You know what? Actually,
okay.
your voice is going in and out again.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So who would like to go next? Dave?
Sure. Can you repeat that question again for me, Brian?
Sure. Pretty much, what do you do to stay plugged in? When you're thinking about teaching new agents, how to get started in this and being an icon, one of the most important things I think personally is plugging in. So I like I was saying, I always like to attend the Friday leadership meeting each week. What's the one thing that you have on your calendar, this year that you would like to encourage our audience to add to their calendar that they don't want to miss that's happening, let's say here at eXp Realty?
For me, it's continuing education. So whether you were to do something here with eXp within any of the meetings throughout the week, including this one, set it in your calendar and don't divert from it. So for me, I'm always doing continuing education. My day starts at 7 a.m. and it's 7 a.m. with learning, and it's learning with other agents. What are they doing in their markets? What is working for them, what's not working for them. I had a meeting this morning, same thing with a colleague out of Orlando that I'd connected with the shareholders last week. You just need to bounce the ideas off of each other and treat them all essentially like accountability coaches. Keep yourself ahead of the game. If you can keep that continuing education going, you will far exceed many of the other agents that are out there who think this job is something where it's easy money, where everything just falls into your lap. You have to stay ahead of the game. And, honestly, go back to the last session here just before us with ChatGPT. It's a game changer. You have to stay ahead of everybody else.
I love that. What about you, Michael?
That's a good question. I would say it really depends on where you are in your real estate career. Are you just a new agent? Are you, do you have a few transactions under your belt, or you're a veteran? But I think the overall, regardless of where you are, you certainly gotta attend the EXPCon coming up in Vegas. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, attend that. Very important. EXP Summit, which just passed. But if you didn't attend, make sure you attend those. Those are events that provide tremendous amount of information from not just the event standpoint, but from the networking standpoint. EXP agents we're so giving. It's just great. It's a great culture of giving and sharing information, helping each other. So very important that you guys attend those EXP events and attending things like this, ICONversations, and I go on expcloud.com all the time. There's so many events, or excuse me, so many classes, things that are being offered for free. It's wonderful. There's you just pick and choose, figure out which one would help you best wherever you are in your current level of your career.
Nice. I love that you brought up EXPCon. And what about you, Dave?
Yeah, I would say I do a lot of stuff locally. So when it comes to EXP, it's networking with other EXP agents. We do events here in Austin. We're fortunate to have a good community of agents that are hosting events. If you don't have that, then just proactively reaching out to other agents to co-work together. Hey, can I shadow a listing appointment of yours? And just try to get networked. It doesn't even have to be EXP agents, but just networking with other agents and just hearing what they're up to, what's working. I think that's always really beneficial when it comes to doing deals. If you've even had a conversation with the agent before, it just makes it a little bit smoother to start the transaction. I would also say find out if there's a local economist or somebody that's talking about what's going on in your market. I love going to those at least quarterly. So that way, when people ask what's going on with the market, which is such a common question, I have, again, more data to back it up. Oh, I just went to this economic forum. Mark Sprague was talking about how we're adding 50,000 jobs this year, and all the tech layoffs, actually only a small fraction of them are impacting Austin and so on. And it just allows me to speak more articulate about what's going on in the economy and the market. So, and that, since real estate's hyper local, it's really important to find a local one to go to. And yeah, those are my suggestions.
Awesome. I love that. So, you guys brought up EXPCon, and that is coming up. But last year at EXPCon, Glenn focused a lot on health. And he said, our health is our wealth. What do you guys think about this? And how much does it impact your productivity to make time for your health and your family? Who wants to start this?
I'll jump in on this. So,
awesome.
Shapiro, I spend every morning I'm at the gym. I told my operations manager last week, I was like, it was like 11 a.m. I was like, I decided not to go to the gym today. And she was like, holy smokes. She was like, that's the most shocking thing you've told me ever. So it's just so ingrained in my routine, and all my friends and everybody in my life knows that I'm at the gym every morning. I'm usually there by 6:30 or 7. I want to knock it out before anybody's calling me and they're bugging me. And there's a feature on your phone called downtime. So if you go into screen time, you can put on downtime. And so for every day from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., all of my messaging apps are blocked. And so that just kind of protects my mental health in the evening. I'm not getting texts from clients at any time past 9, or if I am, I just don't see them. And to me, if I don't know that they exist, it doesn't really matter. And if something's urgent, they can call me. My phone still works, but nobody calls these days. So that never happens unless it's my mom or sister or something. And so I think using that feature, again, if you go into screen time, and then the downtime feature, and it's 9 p.m. till 9 a.m. the next day. And what that allows is at the gym, I'm not distracted. There's no Instagram messages. There's no text. I've got 7 texting message apps on my phone. So those are all blocked. I can listen to music. I can listen to podcasts. I can message my trainer. Funny note, the only person who can message me in those hours is my trainer, not even my mom. So I think that's a really good thing to protect your mental health and your time. I focus on eating healthy, so I go cook for myself, all organic, grass-fed whenever possible. I hired a nutritionist recently, so I'm now trying to hone it in even further with that. So lots of steps towards health. I think it's the most important thing, 8 hours of sleep every night, no matter what, because there's a really good book about sleep, Why We Sleep. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend picking it up. It's super interesting, talking about sleep over, the evolution of humans and how important it is. So make sure you start with that as your foundation.
Yeah, I love that. And if you want to put that book title in the chat, that'd be great. All right, who wants to take it next? David Shapiro? Is your mic still working?
Oh, actually, I can go.
Okay.
Brian.
That was David Shapiro. Sorry, I was just grabbing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. Thank you so much.
The title.
Honestly, well, man, I can't follow exactly what David was mentioning there, but I wish the 8 hours of sleep that would be a luxury. I'm always on the go. But you're right. Keeping healthy and keeping the mindset is definitely key. I do my best to focus time with my family, make sure it is in there. It has to be scheduled in my calendar. And that goes for a lot of the other stuff with the business. Everything is scheduled in order to maintain things. But like David mentioned, after a certain time, people can't get a hold of me. So honestly, from 10 p.m. until 7 a.m., the only ones that can get a hold of me are my wife or kids if they happen to be away. Everything else goes either directly to voicemail or I won't be notified, and I'll see it in the morning. You have to set those hours and those things apart. And during the day, the urge to answer those messages when you're tied up with your family, you just have to kind of put those to the wayside. You've dedicated your time for your family. You just have to spend that time with your family. And as does for you, the health and lifestyle. I wish I could be a little bit more healthier. That's definitely one thing that I'm working on for this year, is to change the mindset in that aspect. But it definitely goes a long way. Healthy mind, healthy body results in a successful business.
Nice. I like that. Who wants to go next?
Brian, can you repeat the question? Like everyone else here, it sounds like I have a healthy routine, right? But I think what really has impacted myself and my family is setting boundaries. See that my mic is yellow. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. It's glitching out a little bit. There are up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there are 3 cog gears. If you click that and you click reinitialize voice, it'll reset the voice server so that your voice comes through more clearly. And if that doesn't work, you can leave eXp World and come back.
Okay. Green now. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Setting boundaries has been huge, and it's something that we teach. I have a moms group, actually a real estate moms group, at realestatemegamom.com, or find us on Facebook, Instagram. But we talk a lot about knowing what your non-negotiables are with your family and setting those boundaries. And I find that like getting my family involved in my 11, but getting him involved in our goals and getting them involved in like, this is what we're working towards, helps a lot when I do have to work more. But not answering my phone after being okay, realizing I don't have to be on call 24/7. A lot of agents really kind of wear it as a badge of honor that I always answer my phone. Okay. And in reality, being so available actually diminishes your value.
That's true. I agree. What about you, Michael? What do you do?
So, Pete Metal, you're not familiar with him. He's on the executive, I guess, council, or what to call it. He was presentation. He said, "I'm not busy. I'm scheduled." Okay. So on a Sunday, every Sunday, what I do is I check my calendar and book my the events for my family first. I have three children, active, and I want to make sure that I'm attending whatever events they have, tennis, the curricular stuff they have. They got a ton of piano recitals. So I want to make sure that the calendar first off, because that's what's important to me. Okay? First things first, family. Secondly, along those lines, I schedule time to spend with my wife. So dinners, some dates, and then only after I do all that, do I fill in the rest for real estate? Okay, so I think prioritizing what's important to you first and foremost is important. So you get that out of the way. Family events, work events. As far as physical health, that I do schedule that as well. Mornings, a habit at this point. I go jog, minimum 1 mile to 3 miles at times, but I need to get that jog in, especially in the morning, because I don't know what the hormones or whatever gets triggered by your brain, but it certainly energizes you, gets you ready for the day, because man, the day is just gonna hit you with all these things. Your email is somebody said your email is a to-do list that anyone can add to. Okay, so it's very important for you to be aware of your tendency to check emails. Oh, I need to do this. Thing people want you to do. So you probably want to designate a time for you to just check email, maybe 2 to 3 times at most. If it's really important, people know to call, text you, right?
Right.
So email, try to check that at a minimum, because it is the biggest to-do list that the public and whoever has access to your email will be adding to. So
awesome. Well, listen, I want to have a discussion on ROI of how you guys spend your time and what you do and how you spend your money on your time. The tools and system and leads, or the tech, or the biggest one that you get your most value on your return on your time. How often are you analyzing the return on your investment of your time? And what do you spend your money on? And how can you please your customers with that? Like, how do you divide it all up? Let's start with you, Dave.
Yeah, it's always being analyzed in regards to money in, money out. What is what's the best thing, and what's going to work. Just had that discussion with my wife this morning in regards to changing some things up that weren't working for the business, and where are we going to allocate those funds to next. For me, I mentioned earlier, I have advertising in the local hockey rinks. I always want to find out if those are working. And the way I find that out is once a deal closes, I ask the client, hey, how did you, especially if I don't know them, how did you choose me out of all the other agents out there? Why did you choose me? And say, well, we see you at the hockey rink. Perfect, great. Checkbox. I can keep advertising that location because I know it's working. Social media, I'm looking at the analytics on a weekly basis. What's working? Where's working? What areas do I need to be farming? You have to, again, be adapting with the market. See where things are going. Had a discussion with an agent last week at shareholders who had just come from EXP, and this is a bit of a sidebar, but she was at a brokerage where the other agents in the brokerage were in their 70s, and all they did was advertised in the newspaper. And I looked at her and said, "They still make those?" Like I had no idea that people were still actively advertising in the newspapers, because in my market, there's one newspaper and it's dying. Like it's not worth it. And so it's those types of things: is where's the market? What is your demographic that you're targeting? And I guess if you want to do newspapers, you're going to be targeting the people likely 70 and up. But you want to be forefront, constantly be evaluating where's your money going. Have the accounting software in place so you understand that you're not just throwing that money away just for the sake of, I have to advertise. Yes, you should advertise, but is it going to be advertising that's going to be working for you? And that's where connecting with agents such as us up here on the stage, sending us a direct message through social media or even through workplace, ask us directly what's been working for us. And I guess I'll speak for all 5 of us up here. We'll respond to you. We'll let you know, because we want to share, and that's part of the EXP culture. We want to share because we want you to be successful along with us.
Nice. What about you, David?
Yeah, David Shapiro here. I switched to my AirPods. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and if you do message us, give us some context. Like, hey, I was in the ICONversations. You talked about this, So I would say my business is it's 100% sphere based. So I'm not spending anything on marketing in the traditional sense. I will spend money on my clients. So last year we did a sunset cruise, probably cost me about $5,000, and I rented a double-decker boat. We had it catered, and we had about 50 of our top clients and a couple of my friends on that boat. And we got some amazing. I had a photographer there. We got some amazing photos of people with the downtown skyline behind them on the boat. And then we did, I believe it was send out cards. And I made sure to get a photo with everybody, or at least a photo of everybody. I was in a lot of them. And then I sent them a card with the photo. So they got a physical photo that they could put up on their fridge from that event. And yeah, the photos came out so good. And people were just like, I mean, we're like floored with how good it was, because it's a pretty unique view with the city behind you on the river there. So that was really good. Definitely worth the money. And people kept being like, oh, is this like a business thing? I'm like, look, my clients are my friends are clients. It's all very intermingled for me. And I was like, this seems like a fun thing. I'll drop $5,000 on this. And if I get something out of it business wise, great. If not, I just had a fun time with my clients and friends. So, but people were definitely talking about that. The only other thing we've been spending money on right now is our YouTube channel. So we're trying to build that up. I see a huge opportunity there, and we've been at it now for 14 months. We've done a market update on the first of every month, and we've done some other content. We're trying to get the right team in place so we can up the level there and the quality, but it's growing slowly, and we've gotten some deals out of it. So that's cool. But that's one area that I see the long term. So I'm willing to put some money in. But for me, when I think about return on time and return on money, it's very clear that working with referrals is the highest return. They're just higher close ratio. Mm-hmm. They're way better to work with. Like, they will call me and be like, hey, there's these 5 homes I want to see. 3 of them have open houses. I'm going to go to those 3. I just need you to show me these 2. So they're super respectful of my time. And they're just great to work with. And I know that they're qualified because they came from a referral. So I focus on those, and I try to be very narrow with the areas that I cover. So my pet peeve is when I ask an agent, what areas do you cover? And they're like, oh, I go everywhere in the 5-county area. And I'm like, what? So how could you be a specialist on anything? There's a couple agents here at EXP that in Central Texas that do land, and like they do have to cover a huge area. But if you're a city agent, there's no reason you should be covering huge, like different towns and whatever. Like, I just stick to the city limits. I'm very clear on that. I tell people I go 15 to 20 minutes from downtown, and that's it. I refer stuff. Last year, I referred like $5 million in business to other agents in Austin, in my own city, because it was outside of my wheelhouse. And so I'm not afraid to do that to make sure I'm super focused, because I'd rather get 25% of a deal that's not in my wheelhouse than trying to either driving a bunch or I'm working something that just doesn't fit with what we're trying to do. So I think protecting my time in that way, and then not discounting. So people try to get a discount on the fee, and occasionally I'll do that in the right scenario, but I'm pretty good about defending the commission. And I actually got from a coach one time said this, and I've actually never really done a listing appointment. We have listings, but I just don't do listing appointments. If a client calls me and says, or a potential client, I should say, and they're like, hey, I want you to come interview to be the listing agent. I'll say, how many agents are you interviewing? Oh, we have 3. Okay. Hey, look, that's not a good fit for me. Best of luck. And I just don't even go. Like, I'm going to go to a listing appointment if I know I have the listing signed, because I want to be very efficient with my time. That's more important to me. And I'm okay just doing, the 20 to 30 million we do every year. I don't need to do 100 million to be happy and live a great life. So
that's awesome. I love that you mentioned that you have fun with your clients too. Like, I think that is just gold right there. What about you, Jessica?
Yeah, I agree with or who was just speaking.
That was David Shapiro.
David. Okay, sorry. I agree with him. The referrals is definitely the highest for us. So just continuing to I work in my real estate business on average less than 20 hours each. I run a whole different business besides real estate. And the way I'm able to do that is just really knowing exactly what I'm good at and surrounding myself with a staff, like admin heavy, I call it a micro team, that really does the rest. So I show up and I do go on listing appointments, but mainly just because I have a process I take people through, whether it's my sister, best friend, or somebody I've never met. I treat them all the same and go through. But that's the only thing I do in my business is listing appointments, buyer consultations, and then negotiating for my clients. Everything else from marketing, showing, there are things like put signs out and lock boxes, meeting the photographer. So transaction coordinate, everything else is handled. So that's how I'm able to have a high volume and have a really nice balance with my family. Also, something that even a solo agent really should consider is, what is your time worth? And for us moms, is it really worth your time to take care of the house? So one of the best decisions I ever made was hiring somebody to help me clean the house once a week. And, knowing that my hourly worth is, 100 plus, and I can hire somebody to help me around the house. So that has been a huge return on investment that's kind of indirectly related to real estate.
Nice. I like that. How about you, Michael?
Hello. So I mentioned earlier 40% of our business is referrals, 60% is strangers. We do market on Zillow and Google Ads, send out postcards. So 60% of our business is working with strangers, but strangers become clients. Clients become, as I mentioned earlier, the goal, repeat business, referral business sources for us. So we continue to grow our database by working with strangers. And in order to track what the best ROI is, we started with CTEbiz.com. You can check it out. And then we eventually transitioned to Sisu. So these are online platforms that allow you to track your numbers, not just ROI for the leads, but also to track your KPIs in terms of, how many leads have you generated, how many appointments set, appointments met, how many clients you've signed, how many under contract, ultimately how many have you closed. So we track all that. We track the conversion rates. CTE allows you to do that. Sisu on a larger scale for my team. So very important for us to track that on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis for us. We want to make sure that our numbers are meeting our benchmarks, and if it's not, then we could find out, okay, what is our bottleneck here? Mm-hmm. Are we not booking enough appointments? Because you got your upstream KPIs, appointment leads being generated, appointments being set, appointments being met, and then you got your downstream or lagging indicators, as you can say, the clients getting into contract, ultimately sold transactions. So we try to identify where the bottlenecks are, and these spreadsheets, as I mentioned, allow us to do that, to make sure that our business is healthy, and we're spending money in the areas that's going to generate us the most ROI. So CTEbiz.com. If you're a smaller team, or if you're a solo agent, I recommend that, because that's what I started with. And then as my team got larger, we transitioned to Sisu. Okay.
Can I chime in there, Michael? I think that's a great point. Performance measured is performance gained. And if you're an agent, you're running a business. So making sure that you're doing a profit and loss report every month. You should have a bookkeeper that's doing that for you and sending it to you so you can actually see how things are going. I look at that every month. And sometimes I'll look at that with my operations manager and decide where areas that we need to make some changes. And then Jessica made me think of something, which is that I do a buyer consult appointment. And if you know the stats, it's something like 80% of buyers go with the first agent they meet with. So it's really easy if you have a really solid buyer consultation to win clients like most of the time when you sit down with them. So to me, that's a really good return on my time. You could make the argument that sellers are easier because you don't have to go do showings. I personally like buyers. I like being in the driver's seat, especially in a market like this, depending on your market, but it's a little bit easier to have a buyer right now. So I like that. So those are some ways that also you could improve efficiency.
That's awesome. So, kind of piggybacking off of this, consistency and automation. Consistency creates value. What do you all think that a new agent would need to do to restart their business, or someone, coming back into the business to restart their business, to be consistent with, in order to create more value for their clients and their business in general? Let's start with you, Dave.
You have to show your value. You have to show public why you are the choice out of all of the other agents that are out there. And we know there's lots. Show them why you are better than all of the others. What are you doing different? Everyone up here is given kind of some advice in the value that they provide. You have to kind of take that and mold it to your own. How are you going to basically, like Brian mentioned, how you're going to relaunch? How are you going to change the way that you've done your business or getting started? For me, you got to be out there. People have to know who you are. They need to see your face. So when they do have that meeting with you, and like David had mentioned, you got the buyer consults and such like that. When they meet you, they already know who you are. They've already had a window into your life. They understand, if you have a family, what you do for fun. They've called you because they've likely had the relationship with you online, and now they're meeting you for the second time. You're meeting them for the first time. So they already have that understanding of who you are and what you like. You're just there to seal that deal, to get it done. Just be present. And I stress this, frankly, all the time. Be yourself. If you're not a person who wears a suit all the time, depending on what kind of market you're dealing with, just go with how you're relaxing, what you like. Maybe not going in, rip jeans and a t-shirt, but go still being presentable, but be yourself. Let them understand who you are. And like I mentioned before, like, they hate being sold, but they love shopping with their friends. Just be the friendly person.
Nice. That's really good. How about you, David? Jessica?
Can you just repeat the question again?
Yeah. So let's say a new agent comes in, or an agent is going to restart their business. What do you think that they should, most focus on to be consistent with in order to create more value for their clients and their business, just in general?
Yeah, I think being consistent, I was thinking about this the other day, like I've been quite successful, and like, how skilled or smart am I actually? Do I just show up? I think that has been a consistent theme for me. Like, it's as simple as just continuing to follow up. So the snooze feature in Gmail is such an easy thing. You send an email to somebody and it says, hey, what's the status of this? And then you just click, you know that the likelihood of somebody responding to an email is like 25%. So I go in and I snooze the email to pop back up in 2 days or 5 days, whatever's appropriate. And every morning at 10 a.m., I've got like 5 emails that hit of like 5 people that did not respond that I need to now follow up with, right? So I email them again, right? They don't respond again, the snooze hits, and then I call them. Hey, I've sent you 2 emails, like I need a response on this. So I think just being persistent and being that person in the ear of whoever. Like, for example, I had a client close on a home, and it's new construction, so there's some warranty stuff that's still outstanding. Now, I've been paid. I could walk away from that deal, and I don't think my client would probably. I don't know. What do you think? But I'm still in it. I'm still texting people. And I'm still following up saying like, hey, there's 3 outstanding things, like, builder, what's going on with these? And my client sees that and knows that, okay, David's here for me. He's got my back. And this is a client who's bought twice now. I'm sure he's going to buy again. He's going to refer people. And he knows that even once the commission's paid, I'm still there consistently trying to help him get reach his goal.
Nice. I really like that. What about you, Jessica?
Yeah, so I think that to create a consistent so I always encourage my downline and just people that I get to mentor coach to think about, from the time that the lead comes in to beyond, what is every step along the way that you want to take them through. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we've done in our business. And like, I think it was David Shapiro that said he does that buyer consultation. So in our consultation, and really listing consultations as well, we explain, here's what's going to happen. Here's when you're going to hear from us. And we set things up on like a weekly basis. So with buyers, obviously, they're getting automatic alerts of properties that are coming up. But in addition to that, they're getting a weekly text or just check in. Hey, have you seen anything this week that we sent that you like? And just having that, essentially an appointment with our clients each week. They know when they can expect to hear from us. And that really does cut down on the random calls and the talk because, well, I haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on? So I think that has helped a lot. And also for me, I've said it several times that I really couldn't do what I do without the members on my team. We develop the systems and they run with it, and they keep me accountable as well.
Nice. I like that. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, to other people's on this panel's point, certainly got to have a system in place and just follow it. You got to be just a diehard follower of doing the system that you put in place. If you don't have a system, talk to a coach, talk to a mentor, put that in place in terms of helping a buyer, helping a seller. So for us, for example, on the buyer side, for us on the buyer side, a buyer lead comes in, the appointment gets booked. We do a buyer consultation as well. And during the buyer consultation, we identify their criteria, set them up in the property alerts, as Jessica said. And then we have a presentation that talks about the process of buying a home, where we come in, how we can help them. And at the very end, we ask them, see if they'd like us to help, in essence, hire us as their buyer's agent. And then from there, triggers a new set of tasks, checklist rather, and we go follow that. But I think what's really important is you just got to pick up the phone and make phone calls. Buyers will be in different stages of their home buying process. There are buyers who are going to be, ready to make an offer on something this week. Then there's buyers that are just still looking around. They're probably not going to be ready to move until 12 plus months from now. So you just got to have that notion that wherever they are in their journey, you have to offer value to them, whether it's the buyer that's ready to do something now, the buyer that's still not ready, would like more information. So offer value wherever they are in their stage. And you keep doing that, ultimately, they'll become your client. So consistently following the system you have in place, consistently getting off the phone, talking to them, and offering value.
Nice. Okay, well, we've got a couple of minutes left here. I want to, change this up a little bit and, think about like new agents that are coming into the company. We've got some of them in the audience today. What's something, just one thing, that they could add to their toolbox of resources that they could use for free starting today, that they could just go out there and implement into their business? Let's start with you, Dave.
KV Core. I've said it time and time again. KV many agents don't like to use it, but it can be a huge tool, free to use, and it can generate the leads that you need to get started. And if you have any questions, always feel free to message me on Workplace. I'm happy to help you get set up.
Awesome. How about you, David?
I would say some sort of task manager. We use Asana. It's free, and just something to be able to organize what needs to get done, have it pop up on a due date. So, I'm sure there's tutorials where you can figure out how to use things like Asana, Monday.com. What other task managers do y'all use that are free that you recommend?
I heard Notion is good, but I haven't used it.
Notion, yeah, I know that's also good for like being a repository for systems and SOPs and things. I wonder if Loom is free. That's good for recording SOPs. But...
Yes.
All right, so some sort of task manager. That's mine.
Nice. Okay. And Jessica?
Trying to think of something free that's not been mentioned.
Right.
I would second the KV Core. We get the other 30% of our business get from Facebook. And it's because we're posting our listings, we're posting a squeeze page, we're, directing people to our website. And I've done it because I used KV Core before I came to EXP. So I've used that platform and that method 7 years.
Nice.
And we also use Facebook Marketplace, which is free too. And it's really obvious and kind of sounds silly, but we generate at least 10 qualified buyers from Facebook Marketplace every week.
That is awesome. I love that. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, KV Core, sort of repeat what other people are saying here, but you need a CRM to manage your database. So KV Core is the free one that I can think of. An inexpensive version of a CRM that I used many years ago. I think it's called Wise Agent. I think it was $25 a month. So aside from managing your database, they also have you can put together like a task list, a checklist, in essence, a system that you could put together and follow for your clients. So buyer or seller, you can create this checklist. So that's probably a very inexpensive version. But if you just don't have the money, KV Core, you get it for free.
Yeah, KV Core is a powerful tool. Well, listen, I want to thank all of you for coming today and sharing your wealth on the stage with all of our agents in the audience and live on YouTube. I want to also thank you for the patience with the audio that we've had today. You all have been wonderful. All of you listening out there in the audience, if you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button. And again, I want to thank all of our icons who have joined us today on the stage. You all have been a great value add to this company. So thank you very much. And we are here every Friday after the big agent meeting from 8:45 a.m. Pacific time, 11:45 a.m. Eastern time in the main auditorium. Join